several journals and magazines. Ah, this looks pretty interesting. Art and Culture Today. Huh, there's something about the exhibition. Unique masterpieces exhibited for the first time together in their home country. Tireless efforts of Baroness von Trebitz. The only regular event seems to be the nightly drink in the saloon. Judging from the rest of the entertainment program, it seems necessary. No time for reading. I have to find the secret compartment in the Baroness's cabin. No time for reading. I have to find the secret compartment in the Baroness's cabin.
Come in. How can I help you, young lady?
Are you the ship's doctor?
Yes, of course.
You see, that's what I thought, because you've got a uniform and you work in the medical center.
Well spotted, young lady. My name is Dr. Gebhardt. How can I help you?
What are the other passengers like?
Listen, young lady, I do not really have time to chat right now. Today is my first day, and it is going differently than I had expected.
You do seem a little stressed. Maybe you should relax. Stress isn't good for you.
You're right. If there is nothing else I can help you with.
But you weren't really helpful at all. Maybe I'll come back later. Bye now.
Bravo! Bravissimo! Fantastico! Ha ha!
Would it be okay for you if I get some fresh air up on deck?
Of course, my dear. Give my regards to the sea.
A wonderful concert, wasn't it?
I wouldn't have expected you to be a connoisseur of classical music.
Because I'm American?
Because you're young, and friendly, and radiant. Someone like you doesn't have to know a lot to get along well in life.
Are you easily prejudiced at your age?
In my long experience, there's often a core of truth at the center of every prejudice.
Prejudice is the reason of fools.
Was that written in the book you once read?
Oh, I've read many books. Good books.
But not my books, you mean to say?
You're a writer?
Mm-hmm. What can I do for you, Miss...
Mayers. You know, I'm not planning on throwing myself at a man.
I'm glad to hear it. You have to work. Earn your own money.
Oh, I will. My grades are excellent, and I really want to study acting in New York.
None of my books has ever been made into a good film. The stories were twisted, shortened and simplified so that even the dimmest fellow could follow them.
I want to do theatre and travel. I speak 3 languages.
That would be 3 more than most people your age can speak. Do what you have to do. But stay away from bad men.
Is this your first trip on the Lydia?
That's quite enough. Life is too short for conversations like this. I do wish that rather delightful Swiss policeman had come along.
I heard you had an interesting trip on the train.
It was thrilling. I'm hoping for an encore. Perhaps in Cairo.
Mr. Kreutzer possesses impressive technique, don't you think?
He certainly does. His numerous playmates in Austria can tell you more about it than I.
You mean Mr. Kreutzer is a womanizer?
I'm not talking about cheap skirts. I'm talking about expensive clothes. A man like him needs funds to support his lifestyle. Just go over to him, my dear. Tell the maestro that your family is wealthy. You have everything he's looking for. Money and a pretty face.
Hold your tongue. Mr. Kreutzer, Lady Westmacott, please.
Or did you have your eye on me, Mr. Kreutzer? Old, yes, but rich.
Jezebel. Mr. Kreutzer, Maestro.
That's better. Freeloader.
You and Mr. Kreutzer, you seem to know each other.
Not really, but I know his type. Parasites who cling to the rich and famous and suck them dry. The young, misunderstood painter. The innovative writer who writes books that no one wants to read. The musical talent that has to be supported. The ladies and gentlemen of high society let the others use them and call themselves patrons. Another word for fool.
Didn't you finance archaeological excavations in the Near East and Egypt?
For my husband, and I was there myself. I catalogued items for him, and I didn't show him off like a trophy at cocktail parties, but my son was one of them, the worst kind. The kind that sucks not only the money, but also the life right out of a person.
May I take my leave?
You may.
Wooden salad tongs, just small enough to carry around unseen. He has the enviable talent of being able to sleep anywhere, anytime. He once fell asleep on a cable car and only woke up after he'd already gone up the mountain and back down again. Normally I don't carry so many things around, but it would have been suspicious if I'd come aboard with nothing but a rucksack whilst pretending to be the daughter of a wealthy family. I got this necklace from my father. It's supposed to remind me that money isn't the most important thing in life. If all you've got is this penny, as well as family and friends, then you're a very rich girl, he said. I'll take it with me. It'll bring me luck. I always try to carry as few personal items as possible. If my things are ever searched, they won't reveal my true identity. I don't like wearing hats, but they do fit the role. And I have to admit that the day in London when we shopped for Patricia Mayers was a lot of fun. Okay then. I am Patricia Mayers. Young, attractive, clueless. I am Patricia Mayers. The poster proudly announces the ship's first Atlantic crossing. The city of New York welcomes the MS Lydia. He's sweating profusely, burst capillaries, and a sweet odor. I hope the crew doesn't take the captain for a role model, and that they stay sober for the rest of the trip. Ah, lovely big towel. I hope tomorrow I'll have a chance to sunbathe and enjoy the rest of the trip. A handsome man and a talented musician, but he doesn't seem very happy. Hello, Mr. Kreutzer.
Do you want to have a go at me, like the old witch in there?
I just wanted to talk to you.
Now is not the best time.
I just wanted to tell you that I really loved your music, and that Lady Westmacott did not have the right to speak to you like that.
Really? How do you know? You don't know me.
Then, did she have the right?
No, she didn't. That cynical old witch enjoys exposing the weaknesses of others, although we all have them. She as well. She lusts for recognition and acts as though it weren't so disgraceful. She rejects prizes and awards with snide remarks, but she's angry when others receive them. She needs to know that she's better than others.
You seem to know her quite well.
I've only met her once or twice, but I know her son and some of her friends. One friend of hers supported me for a long time. No one is brave enough to say it to her face, but everyone hates her.
Her or her success? You're so talented. Why aren't you performing on the world's great stages?
Fate, perhaps. Or bad luck. My parents opened every door for me and my sister and expected corresponding careers.
Over-ambitious parents who force their children to play music?
No, it wasn't like that. I loved it. I loved to play the violin. They didn't have to force me. I wanted to do it on my own. I thought I would achieve my goals if only I worked hard enough. But it was not to be.
What happened?
In a more dramatic story, I'd say that I broke my hand just before my big break, or that I was rejected because of my nationality or my name, or that I was brought down by a conspiracy. But nothing like that ever happened. I practiced like mad. Got better and better. Really good. But nothing happened. The right people never heard me. I was never in the right place at the right time. Can you imagine how it feels to always be on the cusp of a breakthrough? To be just one evening away from becoming an overnight sensation? To see how other, less talented violinists pass you by because you just aren't lucky enough?
How terrible.
For every star in the limelight, there are a dozen more that burn out unseen, fading month by month. I didn't want to be one of those people who waste their lives chasing dreams without realizing that they're unattainable. If I couldn't have the life that I always dreamt of, and that my family expected from me, then at least I could have the next best life.
The next best life?
Mansions, limousines, parties. Everything you could wish for. Though none of it belongs to me.
The lady called you a freeloader.
An ugly word, but maybe not so far from the truth. I move with the rich and famous, and at first glance, I live exactly the life my father always wished for me. A carefree life, easygoing. And I play the violin, which I always loved to do.
But it's not really like that.
It's empty. My life is just a shell. A show. And everyone knows it. I loved something once, and I burned for it. But now, the violin is just an accessory for practicing my real profession.
And your family?
How could I ever look them in the eyes? A failed violinist who gave up.
What does the future hold for you?
Isn't it obvious? My hands are starting to shake from alcohol. What will be left once I lose my good looks? I'll have nothing then. And so I'll put an end to it all.
You can't say things like that.
With my father's pistol. I always have it with me. It's gone. Fate won't even grant me a quick death.
Don't you think you can still make it?
No. It's too late now. The real question is, did I give up too quickly back then?
I don't know.
Thank you for listening.
Goodbye, Mr. Kreutzer. Practicality was definitely placed ahead of design here. I guess the Lydia regularly docks at harbours that don't have their own gangways. And rather than make the passengers climb ladders, they opted for the less beautiful alternative. Two handsome sailors are standing at the table and studying a marine map. Good thing they're busy. I can have a look around without being disturbed. If someone leaves the bridge, I'll pretend to be stargazing, and if that doesn't work, I'll just turn on the charm. Idea what kind of flag this is, but the pole it's attached to could be very useful one day. It's about 80 centimeters long and looks quite stable. Yes, it's sturdy, but it's also too cumbersome to carry around. I could tie the bath towel around the pole, put the pole across the ventilation shaft, and climb down with the help of the towel. Sounds like a plan. A classic. The thief enters through the ventilation shaft. Can it really be that easy? No, it can't. The cover is screwed shut. I could jam the penny in and make a kind of improvised screwdriver. Why not? All the first-class cabins have their own ventilation. The shaft might be my best point of entry, but unfortunately, the cover is screwed shut. I jammed a penny in between the tongs. If I hold the tongs at both ends, I can apply a lot of force. That's it! I just hope that this is the right shaft. I'm not squeamish, but if there's a rat waiting for me, I'll call the whole thing off.
Ah, Jakob Aust. I finally got you. I'll have them arrest you and justice will be done.
Can I be of assistance, madam?
Yes, you can get out of the way.
Shall I tidy up, madam?
No, it's time to celebrate.
Excellent. The coast is clear. Impressive for a quick drink on the go. A suitable glass for every occasion. But most of them look more or less unused. The Baroness probably disregards style and etiquette when she's drinking alone, and just uses the same glass. Napkins and towels, but no jewel. Gin, whiskey, liqueur, sherry, vodka, brandy, and champagne. Every bottle is at least half empty. Corkscrew, bottle opener, coaster, nothing else. More bottles. Might be the good stuff. I wonder what the Baroness is running away from. Loneliness, disappointment, grief. What's that? A small leather strap. Aha! To me it looks like a combination lock. A good one too. The door only opens when the right symbols are in place. There are outlines of animals. A dog, a cat, a bear, and a rooster, amongst others. 8 symbols per cylinder. That means more than 4,000 possible combinations. If only I knew 3 of the 4 symbols, I could easily guess the last. But whilst I don't know at least 3 of them, I can't go any further. If only I knew. But whilst I don't know at least 3... Nefertiti, Guernica, A.D., Buonarroti's Adam. This could be a memory aid for the Baroness. And it would explain how Inch discovered the combination. I'm going to copy the hints. As I see it, I have to decipher these clues to find 3 of the symbols. Then I can guess the 4th. Well, Nefertiti was an Egyptian queen. The monogram and the 2 other clues aren't much help. I've copied the hints into my diary. Maybe someone on board can help me to figure out at least 3 of the 4 symbols. I'd put money on the Eye of the Sphinx being behind this door. I don't think anyone would bet against me. It seems like she was searching for a specific photo, and that she actually found it. Jakob Aust. Now I've got you, she said. We got our hands on the list of passengers, but I don't recognize the name. Hundreds of black and white photos, many of them tinted. From the 20s and 30s, I'd guess. I don't have time to deal with them. The Baroness wrote something down and took the slip of paper with her. It's probably not important. The mannequin could probably wear my clothes. It'd disappear under the Baroness's clothes, though. As a child, I often stood in front of shop windows and tried to stand as still as the mannequins. When I got bored, I claimed that one of the mannequins had blinked and declared myself the winner. Not even Adil would believe that this painting was an original. He was interested in art when we first met, but for him it was always about the content, not the technique. I had my work cut out teaching him to concentrate on the stroke, the material, and the signature of the artist. It's the only way to distinguish an original from a fake. "I don't care who painted it as long as it speaks to me," he said. A perspective that, as an art thief, I can't share, but it's charming nonetheless. I'm sure that the eye is in the Baroness's luggage. I'm here to steal one of the most valuable jewels in the world, not to swipe the contents of handbags. Luckily, I don't have to go through all these suitcases. Inch has been traveling with this woman through Europe for months. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. That was close. Maybe it was a steward who checked whether everything was ready for the Baroness's nightly rest. Whoever it was, I should leave as fast as possible before someone comes back. What on earth is going on here? I don't like that. Is someone else after the eye as well? But even if that is the case, what does the audio tape have to do with it? I can't let it get to me. I have a job to do. Adil,
In the shower.
I found the secret compartment.
Oh, brilliant! And the jewel?
I'm working on it. Adil,
Yes?
I almost got caught in the Baroness's cabin.
What happened?
I don't know. A man came in and I just had time to hide under the bed
Maybe it was a steward who came to clean the cabin?
and turn on a tape recorder in the cupboard.
Huh. Maybe it was Inch. He wanted some music?
There was nothing on the tape. It was playing, but I didn't hear anything. Something is rotten here.
Don't bother your pretty little head about it. Swap the eye and hurry back. I've got a surprise for you.
I don't think your surprise will really surprise me. The secret compartment is secured with a combination lock.
Is there any way in?
Not without leaving evidence. I need the combination.
Huh. Are there any hints?
A memory aid consisting of several works of art. There are animals on the log.
The works of art might hint at specific animals.
Yes, I think so too. About the combination,
Yes?
does Nefertiti mean anything to you?
An Egyptian queen?
That's it?
I didn't have an affair with her, if that's what you mean. She's not my type, and she's been dead for thousands of years.
Well then, I'll take your word for it. Guernica. Sounds Spanish, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a city in the Basque region.
Does it have a heraldic animal? Or maybe the region has one?
I don't know. I've never been there. I just know it because the city was bombed by the Nazis during the Spanish Civil War.
Nazis? In the Spanish Civil War?
Well, not officially, of course. At the request of General Franco, his friends from Germany reduced a defenseless city to ashes and rubble. Picasso immortalized the bombing in his famous painting.
Really? Is it on display in Spain?
Silly. As long as Franco is in charge, he won't allow that.
Where is it?
Oh, no idea. Paris, maybe? Picasso lived there for a long time.
Maybe doesn't help me much. Does the monogram AD mean anything to you?
Anno Domini?
No, it can't be that. I think it stands for a name.
Nope, no idea, sorry.
Buonarroti's Adam. Who's that?
Buonarroti, seems familiar somehow.
To me as well, but I don't know why.
No, I have no idea. I don't know him.
Someone must. I'll be going. Don't waste all the hot water.
Never.
It seems like Dr. Gebhardt was able to wrestle himself away from his work, but he still doesn't seem to be very relaxed. Quite the opposite. And why won't he go to the saloon? The silhouette of New York and of a ship, but not of this one. They probably use the same template for every ship. Looks pretty official, with a coat of arms, flag, seal, and all the trappings. And the poster is clean as a whistle. Someone seems to cherish it. The silhouette of New York and of a ship, but not of this one. They probably use the same template for every ship. Looks pretty official, with a coat of arms, flag, seal, and all the trappings. And the poster is clean as a whistle. Someone seems to cherish it. Dr. Gebhardt, getting some fresh air?
Oh, you could say that?
Do you know the Egyptian queen Nefertiti?
Yes. There is a famous bust of her.
Really? Tell me more.
No, I am sorry. I do not have time for that.
Have you ever heard of a Picasso?
That's enough. I am saying this as politely as I can. Please leave me alone now. We can discuss these unimportant things tomorrow, if it is really necessary.
Do you know what the monogram AD stands for?
What?
A capital A with a small d below it.
Yes, I do. Will you leave me alone if I tell you what it means?
You know.
It is not just any monogram. It is the first. Albrecht Dürer, a German artist, signed all his works with it. He was the first artist to sign all of his work with a monogram. It was not common to do so before then.
Are you sure?
His wooden engravings were, and still are, printed billions of times in Germany.
Billions of times? You're exaggerating.
Not at all. His work appears on German marks.
And what?
That's enough. I told you what you wanted to know. Please, leave me alone now.
Dr. Gebhardt?
Yes?
Buonarroti.
No idea. Don't know him.
But...
Try your luck somewhere else and leave me alone, please. Thank you.
I ought to be going.
Thank God.
He's sweating profusely. Burst capillaries and a sweet odor. I hope the crew doesn't take the captain for a role model, and that they stay sober for the rest of the trip. Hello, Captain DeCanti.
Miss Meyers, how nice to see you. You look beautiful. We missed you at dinner.
I was in my cabin. I didn't feel very well.
Oh, I hope you're feeling better.
Lovely concert, wasn't it?
You only heard the end. It was really wonderful.
All the more curious that Lady Westmacott embarrassed Mr. Kreutzer like that, don't you think?
I have no idea what got into her. They say she's a difficult person, but maybe it's the privilege of famous people to be a bit strange from time to time. When I was still a young sailor, Enrico Caruso was a passenger on our ship, and he...
I think she's fascinating. She's achieved so much, and all by herself.
Lady Westmacott, oh yes, that's true. The most successful writer in the world.
Do you know any more about her?
Everything. I'm her biggest fan. What do you want to know?
Where is she from? Who were her parents?
Her father was a wealthy British salesman. Her mother died in childbirth. She had an outstanding education, but was a lonely child, they said. Her father was away on business most of the time.
I know how she feels. For many years, my father's career was also more important than me.
Don't say that, my child. Your father paid for the life you now live.
Did Lady Westmacott's father marry again?
Yes, a woman 15 years his junior. She didn't really care for the child. She was something of a high society lady. She made the headlines with her antics more often than the family would have liked.
And her novels. How did she come to be a writer?
In interviews, she always mentions her French tutor, who encouraged her to write when she was a child. After some poems and short stories, she began to write detective novels with great success. The rest is history. The experts are arguing whether she or Shakespeare has sold more books.
Although she doesn't receive the same deference.
That's true. But her books are much more innovative and extraordinary than people generally give her credit for.
And what does an elderly lady like her want in Egypt?
I couldn't really say. She was there many times with her husband, an archaeologist. He died a long time ago.
I heard something about a reception at the Egyptian Museum?
Yes, for the eyes of the Sphinx. Or rather, for the eye. But I don't think she'd go to Cairo just for that. She usually stays away from official events. Didn't participate in the literary scene either. Always stayed as far away as possible from high society. Probably because of her stepmother.
Is it true that you're a war hero?
Mm-hmm. In 2 world wars. That tells you how old I must be.
You're as old as you feel.
Oh God, I hope not.
Aren't you feeling well?
You shouldn't burden your pretty little head with the dark thoughts of an old man, my dear.
If you don't feel well, maybe you should take it easy.
I'm afraid if I take it easy, it'll kill me.
You seem to be a pessimist.
Fatty liver, asthma, gallstones, jaundice, gout, shingles, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, circulatory trouble, knee problems, pulmonary embolism, gastritis, migraine, neuralgia, tinnitus, rheumatism, pleurisy, thrombosis, and constipation. Those are what's been diagnosed so far. My body is a curse.
Oh, I didn't mean to... I'm sorry.
Forgive an old man. I didn't mean to shock you.
You're still the captain of this beautiful ship.
They couldn't just get rid of me, so they stuck me somewhere where I can't make trouble anymore.
Don't say that.
This ship runs fine without me. The crew knows what to do. They don't need me. They don't want me.
Captain!
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm burdening you with all of this. Forgive me, eh? I'd like to rest for a while. Soon enough, it'll be time to head back to the coalface.
Captain DeConti?
Yes?
Do you know Nefertiti?
Is she a Greek queen?
No. She... Never mind. Do you know Albrecht Dürer?
Yes, an artist. Not bad. But he has his weaknesses as well.
For example?
For one, he wasn't Italian.
That's a pity.
You can say that again. At least he lived in Italy for a while.
What else can you tell me about him?
I once overheard an argument on board between a German and a Spaniard about who elevated the woodcut to an art form, Albrecht Dürer or Alberto Durero. Eventually, they realized they were talking about the same man. Ha!
Albrecht Dürer is called Alberto Durero in Spain?
That's right. Don't ask me why.
Buonarroti. That sounds Italian, doesn't it?
Ha! You can say that again. Buonarroti is the name of the greatest artist of all time. Michelangelo Buonarroti, who most people only know by his first name. Just imagine, one man, an Italian, achieves perfection in all three movements of graphic arts. His David is the most famous statue in the world. As an architect, he was a genius. He built parts of St. Peter's Basilica.
And as a painter, Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
The creation of Adam. The spark of life leaps from God to Adam. One of the most famous paintings in the world.
Yes, it is. The Sistine Chapel, Apostolic Palace, Vatican City. I don't know any animals associated with them.
Animals?
Oh, it's a game I used to play. My father posed me a riddle, and I have to guess an animal.
And Buonarroti's Adam was the hint? Maybe he meant Rome. According to legend, the founders of the city, Romulus and Remus, were raised by a she-wolf.
No, that's too vague. Does Vatican City have an animal on its coat of arms?
No.
And the Pope?
Every pope has his own emblem, but the new one doesn't have an animal.
You don't seem to like the new Pope.
It's too early to say. But who's fit to hold a candle to John the 23rd? Il Papa Buono, as we used to call him. The good Pope.
He just died recently. What was his heraldic animal?
He was a lion, and so was his heraldic animal.
For a Catholic, Buonarroti's Adam could be a mnemonic for the lion. Pope John XXIII was elected in the Sistine Chapel like every other pope. A work of art hints at a coat of arms with a lion on it. Maybe. I'll make a note of lion. I'm gonna go have a look around.
All right.
Lady Westmacott?
Yes.
I hear you're well-versed in Egyptian history, Lady Westmacott. Can you tell me anything about Nefertiti?
A queen. The main wife of Akhenaten.
Are there any famous works of art depicting her?
Oh yes, the bust of Nefertiti. One of the most beautiful ancient Egyptian sculptures. I saw it years ago in London.
So the bust is located in England?
No, it was discovered in 1912 in Tel El Amarna by a German archaeologist and brought to Germany. I'm not sure where it is today. Ask the Baroness. She's the expert on museums here.
It must be exciting to meet all the world's famous and powerful people.
I stay away as far as possible from high society. Too shallow. Too boring.
But some of them must be exciting. Have you ever met Picasso?
They told him he's a genius so often that he actually started to believe it himself.
But his paintings are impressive. Guernica, for example.
Well, it certainly is big. I have to give him that.
Didn't he have to flee from Spain?
Yes, from the fascists, but not just him. Many of his paintings as well. If I remember correctly, Guernica is currently on display in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. He bequeathed it to a future Spanish republic.
And until then it stays in New York?
Yes. It's been there for years now.
Have you ever been to New York?
For the love of God, what would I do there? We have the original York in England. That's quite enough for me.
So, you don't know the heraldic animal of New York?
No, probably an eagle. It's all eagles over there.
Are you interested in art?
Not really. I'm more interested in real life, in people.
So, you don't know Albrecht Dürer?
Just because I'm not interested in art doesn't mean that I'm ignorant.
What can you tell me about him?
Books, my dear, books. In them, you'll find the answers to all your questions, even the most foolish ones.
I bet you don't know anything about him, and you just want to cover it up.
Ah, you want to appeal to my honor. Too obvious, I'm afraid.
May I take my leave?
You may.
The lady is not a fan of shallow conversation, which I respect. I shouldn't talk to her unless I have something serious to say. Captain DeConti?
Yes?
An old seaman like you must surely have been to New York, right?
Aye, aye. My usual territory is the Mediterranean, but I've crossed the Atlantic many times. It's always a great moment when the Statue of Liberty appears on the horizon.
You wouldn't happen to know the heraldic animal of New York?
No. Maybe an eagle?
I'm gonna go have a look around.
All right.
Okay, the coat of arms of New York City is on the poster. There's the obligatory eagle. That can't be it, since there's no eagle on the lock. But look here, how cute. There are two beavers posing on the New York City emblem. Guernica equals New York equals beaver. I just need one more animal. Dr. Gebhardt?
Yes?
I was talking to the captain. He didn't look well. Is he sick?
I am sure you will understand that I cannot discuss the medical history of one of my patients with you.
Why? Do you think I'm too stupid?
I didn't mean that. It is a matter of confidentiality.
I asked whether the captain is ill and you called him one of my patients. Haven't you already answered my question?
What do you want?
I ought to be going.
Thank God.
A deal?
Yes?
About the combination.
Yes.
Alberto Durero.
What about him?
What's his most famous work?
Hard to say. He did a lot. He was a pioneer of woodcuts and printmaking.
The Baroness left his monogram as a hint, not the name of one of his artworks. So there must be a painting that everyone associates with him.
Not to my knowledge. Although he did have a favorite motif.
And that was?
Himself. He made quite a few self-portraits.
That's it. The artist is the art.
Sounds logical. His most famous self-portrait is in the Prado in Madrid. I saw it with my own eyes 2 years ago.
Does Madrid have something like a heraldic animal?
Sure, it's a bear. It's on the coat of arms and all over the city.
Brilliant. The bear. That's it. 3 animals are all I need. I can guess the 4th. But I could try to find the 4th symbol anyway, just to be sure. I'll be going. Don't waste all the hot water.
Never.
Strange guy. I wonder what, or who, he's watching in the saloon. He seems like he's waiting for something, and he's growing more nervous by the minute. The lady is not a fan of shallow conversation, which I respect. I shouldn't talk to her unless I have something serious to say. I don't know why, but people just seem to open up to me. Is that a blessing or a curse? It must be horrible to look back bitterly at the end of one's life, especially if it could have been a great life. I'll leave him alone with his thoughts.
Baroness von Tribitz? Are you okay? Hello? Baroness? Hello?
A deal.
What happened?
The Baroness. Blood everywhere.
But who?
I don't know. Inch?
That doesn't make any sense.
Don't move. Zellner, up here. We've got our shadow. How are you?
I do nothing. Me crew.
Sure you are. What are you doing here?
Just fresh air.
Sure. You just wanted to get a breath of fresh air. Zellner, look who we have here.
Well, if that's not our shadow.
And our stowaway.
Were you recently traveling via trunk?
Nothing.
He claims to be part of the crew. Just wanted to get some fresh air.
Oh, sure. And you obviously didn't attack me either, did you?
The Baroness won't open her door, sir.
Understood. Take him to the detention cell, Robert. We'll talk later, my friend.
What is? Did nothing.
Inspector Legrand thinks otherwise. Move!
But I have... Gunshot!
I know that! Get moving! Into the cell!
Ah! Hello? It wasn't my fault.
What wasn't your fault? That you were walking around the ship? That you let them catch you? That you endangered the whole plan? That you endangered me?
I didn't kill anyone. They arrested me purely by coincidence. They'll have to turn me loose in Cairo. I mean, someone was killed, weren't they? I heard a shot. Why won't you answer?
I'm having a conversation that you cannot hear.
What happened last night?
The Baroness was murdered.
Did you?
No. If it were up to me, she'd have had an accident in a couple of weeks. Instead, someone shot the old bat in the heart point blank.
Are we calling it off?
No. Mr. X is ready, and as her surviving representative, I should be able to move about freely in the museum. The old hag's death doesn't change anything.
How did you get in here?
I'm more than capable of finding the entrance to a cargo hold. Indeed, it was child's play. It's not as though I had to crawl through ventilation shafts or anything so gauche.
So, what do we do now? I could escape, and...
Swim to Cairo.
So, I stay here and wait?
They'll arrest you in Cairo and question you about the murder. Even if they don't throw you in jail, it'll take days.
And if we find the murderer, then they'd have no reason to hold me.
Oh, I'm one step ahead of you.
Nervous? I would be if I were you.
This Zellner chap wasn't part of the plan. I don't like it.
He's groping about in the dark. Legrand is the real problem.
Still, I'm going to take him out of the picture.
How?
Dr. Gebhardt killed the Baroness. A clever old man, but not clever enough to keep me from finding out.
So you just have to tip Legrand off, and then I'm as good as free.
That's what I thought at first, but then I thought, why waste the opportunity? I put Zellner on the trail of the good doctor. He'll drive Gebhardt into a corner, and when he lashes out in desperation, he might hit our Swiss friend. Maybe even Legrand, if we're really lucky.
You can't do that. The old fella's just doing his job.
And so am I.
Inch. Enough blood has been shed. Inch. No more deaths. Damn! I have to get out of here and warn Constable Zellner. I didn't sleep a wink last night. All I could think of was Alex. It's terrible not knowing what happened. Someone should move that board before the nail gets stepped on. The blanket got caught on the nail. A board and a nail. Ugh, they're really spoiling me with this cup of metallic-tasting water. If I'm really lucky, they'll toss me a few crumbs of bread. Like everything else on this ship, the bars and hinges are showing their age, but they're still much too strong for me to kick the door open. I think it's working. Huh, one down. I'll hang it back on the frame, and if I'm lucky, no one will notice my escape. The crane is for moving cargo from A to B within the ship. The big cranes in the harbor can't reach the corners of the cargo hold. The crane is for moving cargo from A to B within the ship. The big cranes in the harbor can't reach the corners of the cargo hold. Huh. A ring set into the floor. You could attach ropes or chains to it. It's set into the floor to keep people from tripping over it. What's this? Whoa, heavy. Everything's a bit bigger and heavier on a ship, pulleys included. Before I went to London to become Inch's protege, Alex and I drove through the French Riviera in this convertible. It was a wonderful week, and on the cliffs near Toulon, I asked her to marry me. But this is no time for reminiscing. There's nothing in the car that... Fire still poses a great threat to ships. There are fire alarms, extinguishers, and hoses everywhere nowadays. These hoses are pretty versatile. They'll do at a pinch if you can't smuggle climbing ropes into the building you're planning to rob. I can't reach the hook. I can't reach the hook. The crane is for moving cargo from A to B within the ship. The big cranes in the harbor can't reach the corners of the cargo hold. I tied the hose to the hook. I attached the pulley to the ring. You could hang a car from it if the ship were upside down. I attached the pulley to the... I tied the hose to the hook. I attached the pulley to the ring. You could hang a car from it if the ship were upside down. I'm sure the crane still works. I don't have time to play around. I'm sure the crane still works. I don't have time to play around. I tied the hose to the hook. What's that up there? A grate. Sunlight's shining through it. And above it, a bent pipe. This could be my way out. The bars are welded at 4 points, and unfortunately they're not all as rusty as this one. I tied the hose to the hook. Here goes nothing. Louder than I expected. I hope no one noticed. With luck, I'll be able to warn the others about the doctor before it's too late. No! Hey, you all right? That bastard didn't inject the fatal dose. You'll be back on your feet soon enough.
But...
Better take it easy while I... Oh, no! I'll be right back. Where are you?
No! Why? Can't you just leave me alone? Stay there.
Just relax.
Why can't you just leave me alone? It is always the same old story.
What old stories?
I am a decent man. Why are you torturing me? I loved her. She betrayed me. It was her fault. I have blood on my hands because of her.
Are you talking about the Baroness?
She was her sister. I loved her. With all my heart. They were Jewish, you know? But I didn't care about that. I hid them when it became dangerous for them. I looked after them. I brought them food. I was a party member. And still, I hid her and her whole family.
You risked your life for a woman you loved. And 30 years later, you murder her sister?
I saw her swollen belly. I was so angry. He was one of them, you know? They just used me. I hid them, brought them food, and in return they laughed about me behind my back.
What did you do?
There are Jews hiding in the basement of the Waldhof. Armed Jews. We have to burn them out. And that's what they did.
Come down from there.
Why? So you can kill me?
I'm not gonna kill anyone.
Or pack me off to an Egyptian prison? Or an Israeli prison? No.
What do you expect? You had an entire family put to death.
I am a gentleman. And I expect that others... that they don't...
She didn't love you and was expecting a child by another man. And that's why you betrayed her.
It was her fault. She shouldn't have cheated on me. I saved her. I risked my life for her every day for 4 months.
And then you threw it all away and became a murderer.
I am not. I am...
Yeah, well, the dead Baroness in the ship's hold proves the opposite.
I had never met her. Back in East Prussia, she was the older sister, the smart sister. She studied art history in New York, tried to get her family out of East Prussia, but I was able to prevent that.
You say you loved her, and yet you wanted to deny her and her family a safe life.
They were safe. I protected them. It was for their sake that I joined the party. I had contacts. I wrapped them in my protective embrace.
You didn't let her escape because you wanted to keep her close to you.
She sent photos to her sister before the war. She must have recognized me yesterday in Venice. I certainly recognized her.
The Baroness was searching through her photos. That's true.
She couldn't get me during the war. And after the war, I disappeared. Gave myself a new name, a new resume, a new life. And then, suddenly, there she was. About to ruin everything.
So, she had to die.
I didn't want that. But she gave me no choice. Why did she have to stir up old ghosts?
All right now.
No. It ends here and now.
Why do you want to kill yourself?
Isn't it obvious? He can't bear his false, hollow life anymore.
Who are you? What do you want?
A man who understands etiquette and honor, and yet is nothing but a coward himself, who, because of wounded vanity, burdens himself with immense guilt.
Don't come any closer.
The Baroness held a mirror up to you, didn't she, Doctor? And you hated what you saw there, so you smashed the mirror. But the sins of the past are catching up with you now, aren't they?
No.
A
eyes full of fear.
Stop it.
Oh, dear, you really know how to dampen the mood. I almost had him. And you? Aren't you supposed to follow orders? Are you not here to assist me?
I won't.
That wasn't a question.
I don't want any dead bodies.
The same old story. You want success, but you don't want to get your hands dirty.
Isn't the Raven famous for that?
I do what's necessary.
No!
No. What is it then? You wanted to jump anyway, or you should at least.
Inch?
I'm just lending a friendly hand. He's a coward. He needs a bit of motivation. Come on now, chop, jump.
You are the Baroness's butler, aren't you? I did not want to kill your mistress.
Oh, nonsense. Forgiven and forgotten, if you don't mind my asking.
There must be another solution.
Why are you doing this?
Nothing personal. Well, that's not entirely true. You're a miserable excuse for a human being, aren't you? But mainly, you're a means to an end. Your death will get Inspector Legrand off our backs.
The inspector? What do I have to do with him?
Your letter. The one in which you confess to being the Raven and to killing the Baroness because she saw through your ruse.
That's absurd.
Indeed it is. But people will believe almost anything if it suits them. The press will love it. Bold Inspector Legrand saves the day again. Interviews, medals, urgent telegrams from the capital. Our dear friend won't be able to escape the limelight. And by the time the commotion has ended, I'll be long gone.
You can't kill him.
Why not? He's a bastard, his death will help us, and he's a witness. If we let him go, we'll both go to jail.
All the same, we're not gonna kill him. You got us into this situation. And as long as I'm alive, I won't let anyone be killed in my presence.
No.
You can't kill both of us.
Oh, I think you'll find I can.
You can't kill me. You still need me. I have to do the dirty work for you in the museum, so you won't be shooting me. Or him.
Very well. You win.
What?
Oh, never speak to me like that again. Do you understand? I need you to steal the eye, but one day I could be overwhelmed by a feeling of hatred that will make me forget the eye. And there are worse things I could do than simply shoot you. I suggest you go back to your cell. You need to be fit for Cairo. I still have a confession to write.
The last act. The end of the Raven. Part of me wants to abandon the whole plan and go back to Europe. What if something goes wrong and Legrand catches on? I couldn't bear it if something happened to her. I can't afford to slip up.
Mr. Jamal, I'm glad you could make it.
Let's get this over with.
Still angry on account of the good doctor?
You disgust me.
You'll be rid of me in less than 2 hours, and I of you.
Have you already met your Mr. X?
He's counting an envelope of unmarked bills as we speak. He put the blueprints under the statue of Imhotep.
Blueprints?
A sketch of the museum, not the kind you can get just anywhere. This one shows secret entrances, basements, and attic rooms that the resistance used during the war.
That's what it was about.
Get the blueprints. There's a basement below the treasure chamber. The entrance should be marked on the blueprints. Open it and give me a sign.
And what about Legrand?
My diversion worked wonderfully. The press has laid siege to the French embassy, and Legrand won't be able to escape them. He should arrive in a few minutes with the safe, and then he'll have to answer ridiculous questions from reporters all afternoon.
That's why we're striking now.
A regrettable necessity. I would have preferred to make my grand entrance this evening at the gala. But yes, we will strike as soon as the safe is in the treasure chamber and Legrand has left.
What's the next step after the basement?
You'll find out when it's time.
But... will there be more deaths here in the museum?
If you follow my instructions, no.
If people are in danger, I'll call the whole thing off.
I don't kill for fun, only when it's necessary.
Is it ever really necessary?
Sometimes. Revenge, for example, when one has been betrayed.
All right then, I'll pay a visit to Imhotep and we'll meet in the basement.
Good monkey. Oh, and by the way, the museum is closed to visitors until tomorrow.
Then how...
You'll find a way.
I bet the craftsmen are nearby. If not in the museum, then somewhere around here. I have to improvise if I want to get into the museum. Oh, nothing. Do I need an umbrella in Cairo? Or could it help me get into the museum? A rod like that could be useful. Maybe I can fish something out of the sewer with the wire. Nothing. I can't even touch the bottom. It was worth a try. I hope the owner doesn't come back while I'm tampering with the truck. Craftsmen aren't known for their calm, sympathetic natures. A true jack of all trades. What's this? Wow, nice. I'm afraid the painter discarded the overalls because he didn't want to walk around in sweat-soaked clothes all day. Ugh. But what the heck? I have no choice. A handsome man always looks good, and the disguise works. There's a small room down there. Should be the museum's treasure chamber if my sense of direction is right. Huh, cold. I'd be surprised if they needed to use it often in this climate. Nothing out of the ordinary. Wait, what's this? Someone scratched a triangle into the stone. Could that mean something? Won't budge. There's a tennis ball stuck on the tow hitch. Ah, people do that to protect the hitch and their trouser legs from the grease. Got it! Yes, that might be just the thing. You want it? Yeah, you like that, don't ya? Well, that might cause a commotion in the museum, but is it really necessary? Good dog.
The museum is closed today. Come back tomorrow. Or are you one of the craftsmen?
Of course I'm a craftsman.
All right. Your company is not on the list.
But it must be on the list. My boss told me everything was taken care of.
And mine told me that nobody gets in if they're not on the list. Bye.
Well, who wants to become an accomplice in a burglary? Yes, who wants to be an accomplice?
Ah! What are you doing? Come here, you... Stay away, you flea bag. Next time...
You made yourself an enemy, pup. No. Disguise or no disguise, the security guard won't let me in if I'm not a registered worker.
Stupid mutt! I'll get you this time! What the hell? Ah! Ugh!
This is my chance.
Weren't you just here?
I talked to my boss again. He said we must be on the list.
Your boss can come and see for himself. There is no Hamids.
Uh-huh.
My co-worker's handwriting. I can hardly make out a single word. Hamids. Ah, yes. Here. Here, put this on.
Ah, many thanks. The author's companion. She seems to be waiting for something. I'd better stay away from her. There's always a risk that someone observant might recognize me, and I bet that the lady is a very good observer. Imhotep. All right, I've got the blueprints. And since I'm a craftsman, it won't seem suspicious if I study them. Here's the treasure chamber. There's another room beneath it. And here's the entrance, somewhere near the statue. And there seems to be another entrance that...
What are you doing there?
Huh? Oh, it's you.
What's going on? And what happened on the ship?
Everything is all right. I was able to stop the doctor.
What happened to him?
Inch.
You mean he...
There was nothing I could do. And he won't even tell me his plan. I'm supposed to get these blueprints and open a secret entrance to the basement beneath the treasure chamber.
A basement under the treasure chamber?
I didn't know about that before. Inch somehow heard about it, and Mr. X took care of the rest.
What's he planning?
I don't know.
I don't like it.
Me neither. The blueprints show the basement below the treasure chamber, and two entrances. One of them is over there, but it seems to be closed.
And the other?
It's on the roof, and there are stairs from an attic down to the basement.
And how are you supposed to get into the attic?
That's the question. There's a small triangle here on the roof with 3 numbers next to it. 3, 6, and 2.
Some kind of code.
I'll have a look around. It'll be okay.
I wish I had your confidence.
It's time for the grand finale. Don't you agree?
Take care of yourself.
You too. A plan always seems much easier when you're just talking about it, doesn't it?
Yes, but not half as exciting.
Okay, I have to open the door to the basement. Let's go. The secret entrance to the basement must be behind the statue. It's well disguised. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gone undetected for decades. I can't see. I won't be able to open the door from this side. I'll try to get in through the roof, then take the stairs to the basement and have a go from inside. The secret passage is somewhere around here on the blueprints, and so is the triangle scratched into the stone. Aha! Very good. Maybe this one. Huh. Strange. Maybe the order is wrong. Aha. Huh. Aha. Huh. Aha. Huh. Aha. Huh. Aha. No. Aha. Huh. Strange. Maybe the order is wrong. Nothing. That's the same triangle as on the blueprints. The numbers 3, 6, and 2 are written next to it. I can't read anything else. Huh. Strange. Maybe the order is wrong. Aha. Huh. Strange. Aha. Huh. Aha. Huh. Nothing's happening. Aha. There we go. The digits are written from right to left. In this part of the world, they read from right to left. I'm in the museum. Well, sort of. The electrical cables don't seem like they were meant to be permanent. Probably they secretly tapped the museum's electricity. Old technical equipment. Inch said something about an underground that operated here in the museum during the war. Could have been a radio installation. Would have been the perfect place for it. So high above the city. That's tar paper, I think. Maybe it's for covering all those holes in the roof. A big heavy roll of rough tar paper probably put there decades ago and then forgotten. Could be useful at some point. A big heavy roll of rough tar paper, probably put there decades ago and then forgotten. I should be able to remove the insulation with this knife. According to the blueprints, the stairs lead from the attic down to the secret basement. Pitch black in here. Here we go. I think it's nothing. Okay, plus and minus are exposed. I exposed the copper wires. There's no danger as long as the electricity is shut off. Okay, I'll twist the wires from the lamp cord together with the wires from the electrical cable. Let there be light! Damn! I think the contact is dirty. I was right. The lower contact is coated with rust. The current can't flow properly, and sooner or later the bulb will burn out. Maybe I can... Yes, I can use it to rub the rust off. That should do it. One more try. There we go. If it wasn't so dusty, I could easily imagine someone had been using it. What kind of stories could this room tell? About desperation, anger, triumph? According to the blueprints, there's supposed to be a secret door here leading into the main hall. Huh, this must be the locking mechanism. Careful now. What the... What are you doing here? What if Inch sees you? No.
I'm sorry. He caught me.
You and your little girlfriend. You thought you could go behind my back?
Inch, no.
You deserve to die, here and now. But then I wouldn't get the eye.
Don't hurt her, please.
We'll see. Get moving.
And now?
Cover to the chair.
No!
Patricia!
No!
Enough! You have one and only one chance of getting out of this alive. Do what I tell you to do. Tie her to the chair.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Look at her. Remember this scene? If you try to screw me, then...
What's the next step? What's the plan?
Everything you need is in the bag. The eye will be delivered at any moment. You abseil from the roof into the treasure chamber.
And the display case's alarm system?
The alarm will go off, but I'll ensure that the only effect will be that the security barricades in the treasure chamber close.
How will you manage that?
Let me worry about that, just like the guards. You'll have several minutes to break into the display case and climb back to the roof.
And once I have the jewel, what next? By the time I get back to the roof, the museum will be surrounded by policemen.
Correct. Escaping from the museum is impossible.
That means I stay inside the museum.
There's a bag in the basement with food and water for you and your girlfriend. I'm sure you'll find a way to pass the time for a couple of days. The police will search the whole city for the eye, but not the museum.
And once the museum's open to visitors again, Patricia and I will walk out through the secret door in the main hall to our freedom.
I'll be watching you every step of the way. You'll deliver the jewel, and then we'll never see each other again.
How am I supposed to break into the display case? It's protected by bulletproof glass.
You'll find everything you need in the bag. A clever fellow like you will know what to do with it.
If we do everything you ask, will you let us go?
I'm a poor loser, but a generous winner.
How did you find out about our plan?
By chance, I must admit. I hadn't anticipated it. I didn't think that you'd build up my trust for months just to betray me.
You have to be patient if you want to steal the eyes of the Sphinx.
A virtue youth normally lacks. It's a pity we have to go our separate ways after this little incident.
I can hardly wait. Please, let Patricia go. You've got me.
A fascinating young lady. Clever, skillful, beautiful. What's she doing with a chap like you? Are you sure you're not just a pawn in her game?
Let her go.
As soon as you bring me the second eye.
The plan might work, I must admit.
The plan will work. You'll see to that, or she'll suffer the consequences. Let's go. The clock is ticking. I have to take care of the guards and the alarm system.
It'll all work out in the end.
I know. Take care of yourself.
If you should open this door without the Eye of the Sphinx in your bag, I'll shoot first and then ask what went wrong.
You're not planning on letting us go, are you?
I need a scapegoat. Otherwise, the traitor would already be dead.
He doesn't understand because he doesn't think like you.
You messed with the wrong man, and now you have to suffer the consequences.
That tarp is covering something. Huh. Bucket, rags, squeegee, tools of the trade for window washers. Probably didn't feel like carrying their equipment up to the roof every time, so they stashed it here. I don't need the squeegee. The bucket? Not really. This rag, on the other hand, I could wipe away fingerprints with it. Climbing equipment, including a rope, a cloth bag. Huh? A pack of gum? Why did Inch put a pack of gum in a cloth bag? That's all. Looks like I'll have to improvise. There's nothing else in the bag, and I don't need the bag itself. A good rope, and more than long enough to abseil down into the treasure chamber. I'll leave it there until I need it. This is the same climbing equipment that I wore for the burglary in London, only the mask is missing. Does Inch want to make sure that the security cameras can see my handsome face? Maybe the tap is meant to depressurize the water tank if it rains too much, or it's just a practical way for the window washers to get some fresh water up here. Oh, cold, dripping wet. I'm not putting it in my pocket like that. I can see the treasure chamber. There are several people moving around down there. I think the eye is being delivered. Only one piece left. What's this? Unless this is the most expensive chewing gum commercial ever, Inch wanted me to find the diamond. I'm sure it's not a reward for all my hard work. Something for opening windows that are too heavy to move with your hands. Your new home. This window can be opened. Must be an entrance for the window washers and maintenance crews when they have to work up here in the cupola. There's a mechanism that opens the window when you turn the crank. I see two contacts down there on the frame. There's a piece of metal stuck between them and fixed to the window. If I open the window, the piece of metal will move, breaking the circuit and setting off an alarm. Unless the guards have been notified beforehand, which is hardly an option in my case, I have to bypass the circuit. I can't cut any of the windows out of the frame, but this window has a rubber seal on the bottom and the sides. The roof of the museum is now officially drafty. Yes, the aluminum foil might bypass the circuit. Ugh, darn tight. I can override the contacts with the strip, but I can't... Oh, damn! I lost the strip! It would never have worked anyway. The gap was too small. Without a seal, there's a 1 or 2 centimeter gap below the window. Just enough to slip a couple of fingers through. Okay, I'm in. And now back and forth and away we go. Got it. The wet rag is lying on the contacts. Excellent. No alarm. Okay, I don't see anyone.
Such an attempt would fail here. The display case is bolted to the floor and weighs several 100 kilograms.
What's that? A camera?
The latest model. It's called video surveillance.
I've heard about that. The images are recorded and can be viewed again later.
That's right. Images from all 3 cameras are recorded in the guard room.
Wow.
As I've said, we've spared no effort and no expense.
I think I've seen enough here, but I'm interested in something else.
Just have to hope that Inch knocked out the guard in the guard room. If not, he'll be on his way to check the camera soon. Here goes nothing. Now or never. I'll press the diamond into the chewing gum with the tip towards the window. This cordon doesn't apply to burglars. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. No, no! He wants to lock me in. But why? He doesn't have the jewel yet. What is he... Oh, no. Oh, my head hurts.
He's up there, Robert. I know it.
Maybe. go to the guardroom and open the gates.
Tell the director.
Zellner, don't do it. It's too dangerous.
I've got everything under control.
Sorry, Constable. This is the opposite of a clever burglary. Inch must have decided to do it the violent way as soon as he realized he couldn't count on me. I would have died in the explosion and been the scapegoat.
How did you do it? How did you plant the message on the safe in the train? How did you know that Gebhardt killed the Baroness and the demolition charge below the treasure chamber? How did you manage it all? Even if your arm isn't lame.
Oh, it is, believe me. I needed help, it's true. A messenger boy to replace my arms and legs.
A messenger boy?
Ah, Adil. This could be interesting. He's quite talented, but unreliable. He has a mind of his own plans. Don't you, Adil?
I never wanted blood to be shed, but it's time to make an exception.
He only forgot one thing. I keep things firmly in hand. Always. End of story. No! Stupid little policeman. He shouldn't have messed with the Raven.
You aren't the Raven! The Raven would never have shot a defenseless old man!
No, he wouldn't have. But now he has. At least that's what everyone will think.
Why does that matter? Who are you?
We worked for him, for the Raven. My brother and I. He's responsible for my brother being shot and for my crippled arm. He sacrificed us.
Who? Who is the Raven?
I don't know. I never met him, and in all these years, I've never found him.
You don't know who you worked for?
No one knows who the Raven is. Some say he's dead. The fact is, he never returned to the stage after that fatal night in Paris.
So you want to lure him out of hiding?
And if anything can, it's the burglary of the century executed by another thief while using his name.
He doesn't come.
But I still got my revenge. The gentleman thief, now a bomb-throwing murderer. Oh, I do hope he is still with us, watching helplessly as I ruin his life's work, as he ruined mine. Enough chatter. I'll be going.
But why?
Your little girlfriend escaped, and if I can't eliminate all the witnesses, I can at least destroy their credibility. Why did you just shoot poor Constable Zellner, lad? They'll hang you and your accomplice. Ha ha ha! You've met your match, Raven. You hear me? Wherever you are, I beat you.
Good evening, Mr. Inch. The eyes of the Sphinx, if you would be so kind.
You? That's impossible!
The jewels, now. Inch, don't move a muscle. You're under arrest. A master thief who stole 2 cheap fakes and then fell to his death. A shot that no one could explain. But for the newspapers, it was the real jewels that were the heart of the story. The eyes of the Sphinx, reunited in the Egyptian Museum.
What kind of game is this?
The Raven's game.
At least you caught him. Again.
I saw the surprise and the anger in Inch's eyes. He knew he'd been played.
You don't mean...
At first they wanted us to believe that it was Gebhardt. And now we're supposed to believe that it was Inch. He's still out there.
So then, who is the Raven?
Hello there, handsome devil.
Hey there, pretty lady.
Don't! My father will be here any moment.
Did you tell him about our engagement?
She did. I almost slipped out of character.
Oh, Daddy, we all know that would never happen. You were Anton Jakob Zellner through and through, even with the world crashing down around you.
Didn't go too badly, did it?
Well, Inch nearly blew us up, and I was almost charged with murder.
Ah, yes. Exciting, wasn't it? I haven't had fun like that since I retired.
Dr. Gebhardt nearly killed you.
Nobody could have suspected the doctor. At least we managed to clear things up quickly.
I would have preferred it if things went according to the old plan. We would have swapped the jewel aboard the ship, and Alex wouldn't have been kidnapped by Inch.
And I'd have preferred it if you hadn't given me a nasty bump on my noggin.
And what would your excuse have been for staying on board if I hadn't? Hey, I improvised.
Good point.
I was afraid Inch would realize you were wearing a bulletproof vest.
He was too confident. After he foiled your plan, he thought he had everything under control. He never really took a look at the emerald in the display case. He just assumed that they shipped the real jewel from Switzerland.
And after my little tussle with Inch, we had both jewels.
He blew half the museum to smithereens just to steal a fake.
He was always rude and insolent. I never should have worked with him. His double-dealing cost his brother's life.
And his own as well.
I'd still rather see him in jail than in a morgue.
He shouldn't have messed with the Raven.
To your retirement.
To the future.
Finally. Dear Nico, the Raven
is dead. Yet other criminals live, and they are more brutal and ruthless than he ever was. Who will stop them? It would be tragic if a good policeman failed to do so because he was hunting for a dead man and ruining himself in the process. Let the dead rest in peace. They are not coming back.
R.